Hey, what's up guys? Los here, Gas and Gears Garage. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do a simple project which could add some good amount of value, or I'm going to say a little bit of horsepower. It doesn't really cost you a dime to do. Okay, one of the easiest things we're going to do to this car, and this is part of a modification process, is to work on the OEM airbox filter. Okay, more specifically the airbox lid. As you know, a lot of the things on this car came restrictive, right? We're talking about the exhaust, we're talking about the intake air filters, a little bit of the plenum, talking about the air pump, etc. So in part of doing modifications to the car to give it just a little bit more oomph, I'm going to be showing you how to basically modify the air box or the air filter lid. This is a really easy process and it can add some good value, doesn't hurt the car at all, and it helps it breathe more. So I'm going to show you here how to cut or open up this restrictive vent using just a simple grinder and some elbow grease. So let's get started. Alright guys, so what I've done here is I've removed the lid, and you know this is a pretty simple, pretty standard procedure, right? You're going to unscrew this from the airbox and you're going to pop off the lid, and it's really easy to do. Now what I've done here is I've kind of marked roughly where I want to cut. The reason is because the filter, okay, when the filter sits in here in the actual box itself, it's gonna pretty much need a little relief area. It's gonna need some place to frame it to where it falls into. Okay, you want to make sure you keep that. Now one of the things you want to keep in mind is that I'm modifying this because you can buy something off the shelf. Okay, K&N and some other manufacturers make these. They're about $45, but really what's the sense in spending this much money when you've got what you need? Okay, so you're gonna need a grinder, okay, the appropriate bit on this grinder or the actual grinding disc. You're gonna mark it, and we're gonna get to cutting this. Okay, you're gonna need patience, you know, have some space, and then we're gonna just be doing a little bit of some fine sanding on the edges to keep the sharpness away. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so here it is. So I've cut out the piece, okay, with my grinder. Now I want you to keep in mind what I did was I switched grinders. This is a smaller sort of grinder that I used at the onset, so I wanted to mark where I was going, and I want to make sure I had a good guide. Then I switched to a larger grinder. The other thing you want to make sure is that you have the grinding disc is the appropriate one. So you want to make sure that it's for stainless steel or steel grade, and you're probably going to go through one of them when you do this. So keep that in mind. You want to have another one handy just in case you wear that one down quicker than not. The other thing too is now I'm going to go ahead and just use a smaller grinder to touch up these edges so they don't stay sharp, nobody gets cut, and I'm probably going to file them by hand. But as you can see, this is what we're going to do. Then I'm probably going to clean this up and I'm just going to paint it with that duplicolor enamel engine paint, because I just want to have a nice finish on it, you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on this, just fine-tuning it, because at this stage, if you're going to go through this trouble, just might as well go ahead and leave it just nice. So let's keep going. Alright, so here we are. We've come to the piece. We've got it all done. You can see we painted it. It looks nice and clean. It really looks almost like from factory. One of the things you want to consider though is, in this case, I kind of cut a small hole in here. You can actually cut from the frame here, right about where it turns. You can actually go ahead and cut all the way through, because the filter will hold. What holds the filter in place is really this right here. It's this little sort of bridge here where when the filter comes in, it lands right there and it holds it on this area right here. So technically, or possibly, you could cut starting from about here all the way around where that turns. So it's up to you. Basically though, it's breathing a lot better. You're going to have more air coming in, right? The filter is going to sit here. You're going to have more surface area here, unimpeded air going in, and that just means better performance overall. So good luck, and don't forget to subscribe.